my buddy Christopher, the mind behind the band called Depths, the one that I collaborated with for the last song that I released called Silent Body. We're doing some more music soon. I say soon loosely. He got me into this band called Spiritbox. If you haven't caught wind of Spiritbox, you really, really should. They just dropped a new song called Rule of Nines. So we're going to check it out because it's Spiritbox, man. You got to check out Spiritbox. All right, let's have a listen. They always do the kind of creepy vibe. It's a simple synth. That's nice. That dotted 8, that's awesome. Love that. Bass doesn't growl enough for me, but it still fills the space that it needs to. Her lower range is so awesome. There we go. Oh, I see. The bass and the guitar kind of are matching each other. It's a really nice effect. Her breathy tone is just supreme. The screams are way more in front. Ooh, that was cool. Pure silence. Nice. Let's cut to silence. Cool. This band has always been good. It's always been awesome. Rule of Nines, is that their album? They're coming up with an album? Is it an album? Oh, I see. No, it's not out yet. The single isn't out yet. They just constantly drop singles, and like they're always awesome. This band is just so interesting. I mean, they kind of have like this kind of, it's not gent, but it kind of is. It fits that same kind of feel. But I wouldn't call it gent so much as I would call it just modern metal. Everything just blends really, really well together. I felt like maybe the presence of the screams could have backed off just a little bit. It's just a mixing thing, you know. I just think her screams were in such contrast to her singing. I felt like it lost a little bit of its authenticity, you know, just a little bit. But she's an awesome singer. I love her mid-range as well as her lower range. She didn't hit too many low notes in this one, but I've heard some of the other ones like perennial, and it's so wide and it's so powerful in the way that's like, I don't know how do I describe it? It's like, it's unlike any other metal like singer, especially for a female singer, than I've ever heard. Like it's a completely different approach, and I really dig it. I think it works. It fits the vibe. They've always had kind of like a creepy vibe, like some sort of eeriness behind their music, and it's always been good. It's just a really, really solid band, and they it's all, as far as I can tell, they do everything themselves. I think they're going to go on tour at some point in the UK or something, which is really cool. They're just doing the do-it-yourself thing. They can, I think the guitarist and the singer, I think they're married, and they just produce their own music, and they're really showing how you can do things yourself these days, you know, and they're a prime example of like how a metal band can make it on their own while, you know, keeping your jobs at home. Apparently the rule of nines is a method used in calculating body surface area involving burns, whereby like values of 9% or 18%, which is still divisible by 9, of surface area are assigned to specific regions in the adults. So it's a method for rapidly assessing the extent of burns on the skin surface, which determines the amount of fluid required as replacement therapy. At least that's what I'm finding. Wallace rule of nines. Yeah, it's a tool used in pre-hospital and emergency medicine to estimate the total body surface area affected by a burn. So that's what she references when she says, I had a dream of schism, force the rule of nines, living in premonition flowing from the same place I learned to give in. I'm not sure if I understand the chorus. It might be a little bit over my head. There's something I kind of understand, or at least I'm putting together, where she says, I learned the rules of a sadist. She offers her life, cursed in some shrine, broken roots entwined, and she feels her insides breaking down. I buried it in time. I want to be part of light. Detritus, which is just dead organic material, open up my mind. If that's what you like, your lesions will blur the line. I don't know who she's talking to. And I don't really know what exactly she means when it comes to force the rule of nines. Like, is she burning? And then she says, I learned the rules of a sadist. And then she says, I lay myself down in the shape of a body. I live in the figurative. I want to be part of light. No body full of pain to take from. They said it's a cruel world. I don't get it. Someone explain this to me. Maybe Spiritbox can chime in and explain this to me. But either way, it's going over my head. It's worded very poetically. I think it's well rhymed and well structured. I think the song has a good structure, but the lyrics are a little bit either hippy dippy or they're abstract, and I just don't get it. It's some sort of feeling and like some sort of really abstract concept. At least the words themselves fit the haunting feel and eeriness to the whole song. So I like that. My overall like beef is that like her vocals, her screams were like a little bit too forward. Harsh vocals could have just gone down just a little bit, and the singing vocals could have just gone up just a tiny bit. And then we could have achieved some sort of balance. But I just felt like the screams were like too forward, and it just didn't have balance. But other than that, I mean, it's a fantastic song. I'm never disappointed in Spiritbox. Ever since Chris showed me this band, I've always been like, wow, this band is different and really cool. What I really like is that they have a female singer, and she doesn't seem to be like any of the other female singers that are in metal bands. Female singers in metal bands tend to be really gimmicky and annoying, in my opinion. And she's not in her vocal tone. And she can scream. She actually can scream. Like, it doesn't sound like her yelling with some distortion over it because she can't actually scream. Like, I can hear her tone, she's screaming, and she's mastered the tone. Like, she has it down, and it sounds awesome. I'm hoping they can, like, maybe after a couple more singles, they can pool all the singles together and form an album, like an actual purchasable album or something. That would be really cool. But if they don't and they just continue to release singles and stuff, I'm not going to complain, you know, honestly. It's great stuff. So anyways, that was Spiritbox. Rule of Nines. It just came out yesterday or today. Yesterday, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. All right. Talk soon, guys. Peace.